Good morning, everybody. GM. Welcome to Wealth Wednesday. More Bob Dylan in the chats. Just kidding. Awesome. Let's get this rocking and rolling. Listen to this all day, but we gotta go. Opportunities abound. All right. Oh, okay. I am reminded. Got a house tour tonight for the Utah team. Got two house tours this Saturday. And I got a follow-up today. Message Cliff real quick. Cliff. Okay, let's get to work. Build your dreams. Quote of the day. Build your dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs. I remember meeting the owner of the Jiffy Lube franchise that I was working at, and he owned 67 Jiffy Lubes. And I ran their number 4 store. And they were netting $1 million out of the store I was running, that I was showing up at 7 a.m., turning the key, turning every machine on, getting it going, taking all the risks, all the bumps, the burns, the scrapes, the bruises, the slips, the falls, the bangs. And they paid me $20,000 a year for that. The dude netted $1 million out of one store. He had 67. Now some stores were only paying him 500,000. But this quote rings so true in my mind. I watched it. I collected that $1 million. I talked to every customer there. I worked full time plus. I collected all that money. I swiped all those cards, and it went to him instead of me. He gave me 20 grand, and then the IRS took 30% of that. Not those jerks. Oh, so anyway, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Major key. So if you're not clear on what your dream is, then of course you're not going to build it. You'll end up building someone else who has crystal clear. And I remember talking to him, and he said he used to work for uh, Sinclair. He used to work for Sinclair Gas and Oil back in the 70s. And he would set up gas stations. And then they were like, hey, we're going to move you to Arizona or Texas or something. He was like, nope, I'm not moving. And he decided to start one, but he was clear on his dream. And then he built the next one and the next one. And 25 years later, the dude is making 25 mil a year, thousands of employees. Good for him. The point is, someone else was trying to get him to build their dream, and he said, no, I'm building my own. And I learned a lot from him about how to think about leverage in business. Obviously, the franchise model is very restrictive and not ideal for us. We just want cash flow in real estate, especially the way Daine talks about it. Solving problems. The realtors get commission, the mortgage brokers get a commission, title, everyone gets paid in this method. And I think that's how it grows and spreads so fast, because a lot of people, when they think about real estate investors, they think especially realtors are like, oh no, we don't get a commission. We don't get, you want to leave us out. But with this methodology, everyone wants to talk about you and your business because everyone's getting paid through it, right? The inspector, the appraiser, realtor, mortgage broker, the title agent, the insurance agent, the city tax collector, the county tax collector. At a minimum, 8 people are getting paid, or 8 entities. And nice. Get muscles. That's right. Bob Dylan's my favorite, and Doug's got it right. If you don't, then all in all, you're just another brick in the wall. And what a tragedy that would be to be born in America during this time and to tiptoe through life as a wage earner. So let's get after it. Everybody eats. That's right, Gilda. That is right. So pull this up here quick and just go over the calendar, make sure everyone knows what to expect, what to build for, where to put your people so that they're getting the most out of this opportunity with us. House tour tonight. Oh, come on. Here we go. And a house tour Saturday. Oh, something else I'd like your guys' input on is this Saturday, I'm going to be doing a workshop with Cosimo on strategic reading. Okay. Now, here's the genius behind it all. We're going to be showing people how to study from platforms, right? 5 years ago, not as popular. 10 years ago, wasn't even a thing. It was all books. But now it's all platforms. How to study from this, that, and the other platform. So, of course, because we love Renatus and Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country, we're going to be demonstrating the Renatus platform for the strategic reading course. So Cosimo asked me, what 30 minutes of Renatus education can we show these people that would make the biggest impact? He has his own idea. I have my own idea, but I'm wondering if you had 30 minutes to demonstrate or show a class, and mind you, we're getting, college kids, we're getting engineers, we're getting lawyers, we're getting doctors, we're getting people who are studying for their MSAT or their LSAT, we're getting people who are becoming, coaches, health coaches, business coaches, all kinds of people are going through this program. And I want to create a need. I mean, that's what we do as salespeople, right? We create the need and solve the need at the same time. Good news is that in the money world, people realize they have this need. They need more money, so it's pretty obvious for us. But in different sectors, you have to create the need and solve the need in the same conversation. So, what do you think would make the biggest impact? And then what's also interesting is watching Cosimo study the classes. Okay, the dude doesn't watch the videos nearly as much as he watches or reads the transcripts. You're going through the class, you can download the transcript, and that dude will just speed read the transcript and he'll take an 8 hour class and read it in 1 hour and memorize it. So, anyway, we're going to be going over that methodology this Saturday. If you haven't taken his full course, the hands on approach, then maybe consider it next time we make an offer, different discounts and things. So, yeah, see Steve, Jasmine, Carla, got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, is that open to guests?
No,
Okay.
that is a paid student member only thing.
Oh, for Renatus education holders only.
No, for genius holders only.
Oh, so okay. I mean, I'm
So,
a genius holder, but What's
Yeah.
the opportunity? Um, it just makes me better. But is there an income opportunity? Maybe like for my education holders, other Renatus education holders that may not own the Genius course? Is this more of a study group?
This is fulfillment. So this is day 4 of the Genius course. So the first 3 days is what you're used to. And then day 4, we give, people 2 or 3 weeks to implement these methods into their life. And then we say, hey, we're going to also show you the strategic reading coursework. And so that's all day. It's going to be 9:30 to 6 Eastern time on Saturday.
Okay, I got
So
it.
you
Thank you.
should, yeah, you should definitely come if you can. If it's only for an hour or two, even still.
Okay.
And then let's talk to Cosmo about how we can make a guest-facing event like this because, yeah, a lot of people need it, and it would be very useful. And then, of course, because he is doing his own real estate deals using it, it just brings it all back. So,
So what you're asking us, or what we can help you with today, is a recommendation on what 30 minutes of a Renatus course. Does it make a difference if it's the essentials, the profits?
nope,
Okay.
nope,
And the audience, the people that are there are Genius holders that are looking
right.
to improve their reading skills, their memorization skills. But we want to upsell, we want to introduce them to our Renatus platform also.
Correct.
But knowing that
Exactly.
there may not be real estate investor types, there are people that may be interested in some of the foundational knowledge that Renatus has to offer. I just needed clarity.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They are not raising their hand saying, I want to be a real estate investor per se, but if we show them that they can use the skills we've given them and this Renatus platform and really lower the risk and make it more streamlined in their life, then they're going to jump in.
Got it. That's helpful. I'm going to be thinking right now.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Thanks for asking. All right. So Steve says tax strategy. Jasmine says velocity banking or real estate marketing. Deborah says, so if we are paid genius holders, can we attend? Yeah, Deborah, reach out to Cosimo to get the link. Same with you, Jasmine. He's got the link and he's got his personal assistant also that's handling all that stuff too. So yeah, if you have his number, please message him. If not, I will give you his number. And yeah, if you've already taken the 3-day Genius course with him, or the 7-day 7 modules inside of Renatus, then it seems like that should be the next thing for you to attend. Acquisitions can be used for multiple businesses. Hey, that's good. Um, so you're talking about creative acquisitions with Chris Albin. But what 30 minutes in that, right? Obviously not the first 30 minutes because he's talking about a story. So anyway, we're going to be cruising through a bunch of class this week so that we can demonstrate that for everybody. It's going to be awesome. I love watching people see that it's possible. That they go, holy moly, I can actually do this. I could be a real estate investor. I, and folks, what if, okay, I see a challenge with the framework that some of our students have right now is because you have a lifetime membership, you think it's a lifetime opportunity. Um, with the way real estate is appreciating and the prices in major cities is going up at 10, 15%, wages are going up at 1%, inflation's up 7%. There's no way people are going to be able to, the average person, be buying houses in the traditional sense that everyone's been taught that the industry is built on all the mortgage stuff. Uh, Donald Trump and the FHFA, Federal Housing something Authority. There's another F in there for some reason. they've now put it on the docket to have 50-year mortgages. 50-year mortgages. This is insane. Like, I haven't looked at the amortization charts yet, but I can imagine what level, like, we were already disgusted with the 30-year interest to principal ratio. It's going to be even more disgusting with the 50-year. But people will see, oh, I can lock in my $1 million house now because in 50 years it'll be worth 5 million, and I'll make a $6,000 a month payment, and $5,950 will go to interest, and $50 will go to principal. But hey, over 50 years, I can lock it in. So people will justify it. But my point is that with the shifts that are happening, the less need for human jobs, right? With AI, it's freaking awesome. Should embrace it, use it. 50-year mortgages, inflation, housing prices, all these things are culminating into you don't have much time. I'm not a doom and gloomer by any means. I see opportunity everywhere, but I'm also calculating. And some of you are acting like you got 10 years to do this, and you don't. You have two. You have two before things really get wild, especially with quantitative easing coming. The Federal Reserve has ended quantitative tightening this month. Starting next month, the Federal Reserve is going to long press on the printer button, okay? And all this money is going to be injected. Now, there's a risk with that of 20% inflation in 27, 28, and 29 because of what they're going to do, what they're planning on this year. Also, a new chair for the Federal Reserve will be what's the word? Assigned, hired, because Jerome Powell's out. I think May his term is up. So we're going to get a new federal chair for the Federal Reserve that's going to have a new policy for printing, printing, printing. We don't want the economy to collapse. Nobody does. So everyone's pushing it into real estate. But how to make real estate more attractive? Because Gen Zs and Gen As think it's unaffordable. The average home buyer age for this year is 40, the highest it's ever been. Nobody wants people to wait till 40 to buy a house, especially builders, realtors, HOAs, everybody, the city tax, the county tax. They all want people to keep buying right now, especially the transfer tax. It's so profitable for them. So they have to make these 50-year mortgages, put them in, essentially lifetime financial bondage to keep the music playing. Okay. But at the same time, if you act like you have 5 years to build your portfolio, you are operating on the wrong time scale. Please act like you have 1 year. If you had 1 year before the real estate window closes, which it won't, but I'm just saying, put it in your mind this way, okay? The real estate window closes in 1 year. You got 1 year to do this. And it's not because your education will be turned off. It's because the manipulators will manipulate it too much. Let's just say. Okay. What would you be doing at the end of this call? What would you be doing this weekend? Would you still be doing the same goofy stuff you have planned if you only had 1 year to build your portfolio? Would you still be tiptoeing around calling your list? You saw how Daine went through this last week, and everyone asked him, Daine, where do you get all your leads? Where do you get all your leads? And he's like, my phone. How many of you did what he said last week? You had 7 days. Did you make the calls? Did you start putting them in the buckets, so to speak? If not, maybe you're psyching yourself out thinking you got 10 years to do this. 10 years from now, if the Federal Reserve keeps doing what they're doing with the money printing, they will double the money supply again in 10 years. It doubles every 10 years. That's what happens with 6.8%. So whatever house prices you're looking at now, double them conservatively. So what are you going to do? Are you going to do it the same way you did it last week? Um, I just listened to the CEO of NVIDIA. He gave a 3 hour interview last week. You guys know about NVIDIA? You heard of this company? No? Okay. Well, they're worth more than Google.
He makes
They're
everything we use now. The chips in
every,
everything.
everything. Guys, he built a $4.3 trillion company. Okay. Um, every piece of AI that anybody uses around the world comes from NVIDIA's GPU chips. They invented the GPU in 1999. And someone was asking him, "Hey man, like why do you keep working? Right, your company's worth 4.3 trillion. That's worth more than Amazon, worth more than Google, worth more than Tesla, worth more than all these things. Your company is so hugely profitable, and why are you working so hard?" And he said that he has this feeling every single day that we're running out of time. But he's been operating that way for 25 years. So what I'm trying to share with you is that if you operate from that perspective of, hey, it's you got 30-day notice to pay or vacate. How are you going to operate over the next 30 days? What would you do? And in a sense, you got to psych yourself out. It's a double-edged sword offering the Renatus lifetime membership because you are dilly-dallying. Dilly-dallying is a dangerous way to operate. And when I started really getting a sense of this back in 2014, when I just said, all right, I'm going to act like I just got my eviction notice. What am I going to do? How am I going to operate? How am I going to show up for my phone call sessions every day, not just once a week or every other week when it's time to make calls? Um, I see all your beautiful faces on the calls, in the chats, in the Facebook groups, in the other things, and I wish that all of you would take more action for your own personal gains, not me. I'll be fine. I see some of you taking huge action. Mehelani, Tamara, amazing. But some of you are tiptoeing and you think you have more time. Don't play this game anymore. It's too expensive, literally too expensive to have this approach. Making more offers, making more phone calls, raising more capital. Because think about this, the people who have the capital still need you because their money's being inflated to oblivion. They need people with the education we have so they can put their money in a place that will be protected against the government robberies. So you're providing a service to the homeowner, you're providing a service to your private lenders, you're providing a service to all the contractors that will be working there. And by putting on this CEO hat and wearing the CEO glasses and looking at the world with the CEO lens, no sleeping in, no goofing off. Okay. If we go back to the quote of the day, build your dreams, because if you don't, someone else will hire you to build theirs. What is your dream? And the dream isn't own 50 properties, period. It's own 50 properties because fill in the blank. Maybe that's your dream. Oh, check this out. Got some updated numbers here. And I don't see Daine on the line. Let me shoot him a quick text. We'll go over the top 10 and he should show up any minute. Okay, well, congrats to Bobby T for being number one this week. Freaking awesome. There you go. In the number two position, Mr. Alfredo. West Valley team. Number 3, Marion Setta. Congrats to you guys. I see you constantly in the top 10. Well done. Draper. Stephen Wood from Idaho. Please, somebody message Stephen, put a profile picture in his profile. Mike and Bree, number 5. Well done to you guys. I think it's partly because they keep offering one thing Mike does is he runs an event, right? He helps the Spanish team. He runs an event. One thing I noticed about Mary and Setta also, they help run events, house tours. Alfredo runs an event. Bobby T runs an event. Michelle Torres helps run the events. Mitch and Maley run the events. Mike and Angie help Richard and Mitch and Maley run 2 sets of events. Mike and Magali, they run the events in Idaho. There's a theme here. So either run an event or support the event runners, and the reward will come your way. So GM to that. So is the message coming through that acting with urgency is critical? Even the top income earner in the world is still operating with urgency. So here we go. Pat, GM.
Good morning, Michael. Sorry, I'm not able to type, but I just want to confirm that with the essentials, the new students will still be getting the iOS for 30 days. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a huge perk. It gets them hooked, and they realize, wow, I have a competitive edge with this software. And then if they decide to get the monthly membership, then you get paid every month. So yeah, let's definitely keep promoting Renatus iOS. It's a beautiful thing. Awesome. Well, let's get into it now with Wealth Wednesday. I ranted at you already about the urgency, building your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. And someone who's built their dream, living a life by design, is our trainer for the day. Mr. Daine Clark has come through our training program as a brand new, fresh slate, no experience, and has absolutely crushed it. He got serious about his classes. He operated from that state of urgency, not desperation, but urgency, and created himself a fantastic lifestyle generationally. Helped his parents, helping his kids, helping his siblings. It's an amazing thing to see. And one thing we want to honor is the action that we take when we are given these assignments. I know some people took major action. They called just the way Daine showed them to, put them in the buckets, and they're starting to raise capital. I saw a bunch of people do that from the Idaho team as well. So it's working. We're making a difference for people. Whether they join Renatus or not, we can still serve them, make a difference, help them protect their capital, which is a manifestation of the energy they put into their life and into the economy. And that we want to honor that. Help protect it from taxes, from inflation, put it into real estate, and we can all make more money, help more people move in to housing, build more housing. I'm excited about the projects that we're doing out here in Tennessee as well. But it's this attitude of service that we want to honor and thank Daine for. I don't know what other obstacles he's had to overcome to get this far. It's pretty impressive to see. He's helped 1,000 people do a deal. Now he's helping another 1,000 people do a deal. So if you keep showing up, you keep taking action, be aggressive, don't take the breaks like the normies take, and you can have the results even better than what Daine has created, potentially. But you got to do the work. And we're very excited, very grateful to have him here today. So let's give a big warm welcome to our trainer for the day, Mr. Daine Clark. GM Daine.
Good morning, guys. Happy Wealth, excuse me, happy Wealth Wednesday to y'all.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, welcome. What a
Exciting.
exciting week we've had. I saw Pat's hand was up. I wasn't sure, Pat, if you meant to keep your hand up or if you had a second question, but I wanted to make sure that you had that time if needed. And yeah, Carl's got a hand too. Let's go.
Oh, can't wait to hear Dane. Dane's one of my favorites. But just in response to you, Michael, what I thought about for the genius holders is the self-directed IRA class by Matt Sorensen, segments 3 and 4, and the profits, the drive for development by Woody, where he talks about what you need for change. I think I'll confirm the segment numbers, but that's when he talks about seeds. These people have demonstrated an interest in personal development, and I think IRAs are uh, broad enough to capture a wider crowd. So I just want to share that.
Cool. Putting it in my notes now.
Yeah, so Matt Sorensen will be about 15 minutes, and then Drive for Development will be another 15 minutes. So altogether, 30 minutes.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Back to Dane.
Jasmine. Yeah.
And people that have retirement accounts, like have any kind of significant amount of money in retirement accounts, when you say retirement accounts or creative, like they're going to be like, "Ooh, I'm going to listen to this because I have a bunch of money in one of those." This
Right.
sounds important.
Perfect. All right, Miss Jasmine, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I actually had a question for Dane.
Perfect.
Uh, so a while ago we were talking about like the Daine Clark method, and that was really cool. And I started really trying to get into that, but I think I may have done it, I don't want to say incorrectly, but I
Uh-oh.
basically niched down to like helping unbankable people into home ownership, but just like people who don't understand credit, not necessarily people who don't have any money, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And I got a lead from a real estate agent for this guy who wants to buy like a land, but it's 25K and the seller wants cash. And like I put in an offer and they countered with just like, oh no, we want the cash offer. But the agent I was
This is
using
just
doesn't
raw
know.
land.
Yeah, it's just raw land. Like there's nothing on it. The guy who's buying as a contractor, he's convinced he could go in and do all the things, but I was just trying to help him acquire it. Like I'm not involved in the back
Mm.
end of that process.
Yeah. Um, Land is a different breed. I'll just lead off with that you take somebody like even just a traditional bank. A traditional bank is gonna say, oh, you've got a single family, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, like basically cookie cutter. There are more of those than anything else in this country, and you're gonna get a loan. Like you almost have to try to not be able to get a loan from the bank on something like that. But as soon as you start venturing into manufactured, into mobile homes, into land, raw land, especially lots, it is just a whole different breed of lender that's going to do stuff like that. Um, like for me personally, if I hear raw land, I'm just like, ah, I just I personally just don't touch them because how am I going to get the money or who am I going to get the money from? I can't just call up a lender and be like, "Hey, can I get?" And usually in my mind, and again, don't take this as gospel. This is just the mind of Dane, if you will. But in my mind, I ask myself one question: Can I do 100 of these? And if the answer is no, then I don't build any kind of system around it. And lot loans, I could not go and get 100 lot loans in my name. There's no bank that would do that because the risk is just higher. But could I go and get 100 loans on 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom houses? Yes. All day, every day. I wouldn't even need a tax return to go and get 100 loans on single family homes, not manufactured, not uh, mobile homes, not even rural can sometimes throw them off. If when I tell a bank, oh, the bank is in this city, and they're just like, oh, that's rural. They don't like that. And so yeah, so really just again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just telling you how I think, where I'm always thinking scale, like how I want to help as many people as possible. Because if you go get a lot loan, here's what's going to happen. Because you could do it. It's possible. There are banks that would do it. Let's say you go get a lot loan and 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 that person, makes you a monthly payment and you're making money and everything's great. And then all of a sudden you start branding yourself as that. And so all of a sudden, like I said, it's a different breed. All of a sudden, the network of people that are interested in land start learning that your name comes up when they're like, oh, yeah, this person helped me buy a lot when the bank flipped me the bird, for lack of a better term. And then all of a sudden, someone else calls you like, hey, will you do that for me too? And so then you go get a second lot loan. And let's say you get the second one and everything is great. And then you try and get a third one. And that's when the bank's like, well, technically you're not making any money on any of these lots. Sure, you have a lease agreement, but it's a lot or whatever. You have like some kind of income, but it's a lot. And so they'll either not take the income and count it. Like I could see a bank really having a cow if all of a sudden you're doing this. Now, onesies, twosies, sure, maybe you could do it. But very quickly the bank is going to be like, no, no more. We won't let you do this. So if you're relying on bank money, then that's a problem. But that doesn't mean that you just go get, like myself, I have, I don't know, 20 or 30 people that are in that, if you guys remember the four boxes, I have like 20 or 30 people in the box number one that have just gobs of money. That doesn't mean you can't just go get money from people like that. And you could do 100 deals that way. I mean, because it's just at that point it's just money, just more people. If you get 100,000 from 10 people and do like you said, I think you said $25,000 per lot. I mean, I don't know, that's a lot. That's several deals of that nature. So it's possible, but even then, again, same thing. The risk is higher on lots, and so you might have just more chances of foreclosures. You might have, I don't know. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm just telling you how I think. And when people come to me and say, "Hey, will you help me buy a lot?" I'm just like, "You got 50% down?"
Okay. Yeah, that really helps. Thank you.
And I'm trying to think because I know I've done lots. But I think that was the only scenario. I'd have to. I know I've got a loan on a lot right now, and I think that was it. I was like, "Yeah, you got 50% down," and they were like, "Yeah, we do actually." I was like, "Okay, you got my attention. Show me the lot," and we did a lot because that way I'm borrowing money. I'm not borrowing. I'm using other people's money, all private, and if for any reason, heaven forbid, I did have to foreclose on this, I don't have to worry about making a monthly payment or raising or figuring out a new client that will make a monthly payment or whatever. I just sell the lot at like 75% loan to value or yeah, value discounted and hopefully sell it fast and get my money back. But but yeah, lots are just they're a different animal for sure. And so just know that and if you're like if that excites you, cool, go do it. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that helps or not.
Yeah, it does help. Thank you. I probably won't do lots ever again. But thanks.
Cool.
Well, if I could just ask real quick, and then we'll jump to
Go ahead.
Carla. What attracted you to the lot, Jasmine? Was it just something that came up, or you
Like
like?
you found the client first
Right.
Yeah, I
and
found the
they want
client
the lot.
first. They want a very
Gotcha.
specific plot. Yeah, and I was like, let me
Gotcha.
look into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still a deal there. I'm not saying there's not.
Mm-hmm.
But just know your risk and act accordingly. Like like I say, when people tell me, "Oh, I got a lot," I'm like, "Oh, yeah, 50% down." And if they say yes, then I look at it. But if they're like, "Oh no, I was hoping I could put like 5% down," I'm just like, if you fail, so do I. Like if they put 5% down, 10% down, something like that, if they fail, so do I. If they put 50% down and they fail, I don't fail, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah, I have it as like 30% down is what I had said initially,
Yeah.
trying to figure
Yeah.
it out.
Like yeah, at 30% down, like in my again, just my opinion, like that's like minimum.
Mm,
Minimum 30% down. Um, just because I mean land is just it's more volatile than houses are. And so
absolutely.
you could have 30% swings in land way before you'll have 30% swings in houses.
Mm.
But
Do you get lending
yeah,
recommend?
for what's that for what that's worth, for whatever that's worth. Um, yeah. So have you asked him like has he is he bringing a sizable down payment?
Yeah, it's he brought 30% already in.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And
So
so did you already do the deal or are
I'm
you
kind of like in the middle of it right
okay,
now.
yeah.
I'm looking for a lender.
Okay.
For
So you can go raise money,
yeah,
go raise 70% of the money, do the deal. You could either be the owner. Well, sorry, this might be unsolicited part of the conversation, but so where are you struggling most? I should ask. Raising the money or structuring the deal?
raising the money. I think I have it structured well. I have it for like 18 months. Like I want to purchase it, then he'll purchase it for me kind of situation,
Cool.
but he puts down payment. I raise all the money and he's paying like 1,800 a month for 18
Cool.
months for it.
So you buy it using a loan from a private individual, and then you turn around and either seller finance or lease option it or something. So you stay on title, seller finance to him, and you just make your spread. Love it.
Yeah, contract for deed. Yep.
Cool.
That's what the plan was. But I just
Love
need,
it.
I'm having a hard time getting the money um, for it.
Gotcha. Cool. So that's the easy part. Then if you got all that stuff figured out and you can put it on a pro forma, you can put it on a piece of paper, whatever, you can draw it on a napkin kind of a thing, then then yeah, really it's just a conversation with enough people that I think it was Carla that said this that are have 401ks or whatever or have just money sitting, I think you said $25,000. I mean, that dollar amount, I mean, somebody probably has that sitting in a savings account,
Yeah.
low hanging fruit kind of a thing. And so really it just becomes, hey, I've got this deal. Here's the numbers. Here's how much you can make. And, in a nutshell. Um, in fact, didn't somebody last week, oh shoot, I forgot to grab my iPad. Didn't somebody last week say, hey, Dane, I want to see your napkin conversation. Um, am I remembering things or was that like a few weeks ago? And did we ever do that? Um,
Well, that was me.
I forget. Was that we were going to do that this week?
That's this week. Yes.
Oh man,
We gotta-
I should run and grab my iPad, darn it. I'm trying to think if I can just pull up here. Let's see if I can just log into OneNote on the web browser. See if it lets me. Because then I could just pull like a past conversation. Let's see, sign in. Because yeah, it'd be like running two football fields to run back into the house. Updating your terms, okay, whatever. Sure. Stay signed in. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. All right, we're in. Let's see if I can find one super quick. Give it a sec to think here. Cool, but yeah, while we're doing that, let's let's see if I can sort. Can I sort by uh oops.
We can do that another time if it's
All
not
right. No,
convenient.
you're good. All right. Share Safari. So I was gonna try and find one that I could say the story ended in they were just like, yeah, let's do money, but I know I had this conversation. This guy didn't go for it, but I kind of guessed that he wouldn't when I was doing the pitch. Which, maybe this is even just as good of a scenario as ever because I don't really care if they say, yeah, let's put money in this or if they're just like, oh, I know I had a conversation with this person and they put money in. Let's see if it's the same. But you'll also notice it's the same thing. Anybody see that? So, yeah, chain of title and and all of this stuff. And then if I go back to that other one, oh, chain of title, oh, different colors. Yeah, got different colors in there. But yeah, chain of title and then all that stuff and then all that stuff. It's the same. Same conversation. This one ended in um, I think on this one they didn't have the money. They didn't really have the money available to put it into real estate. They just liked the idea versus versus this other person that I can't find now. Um, they were ready to put money into real estate. And so, where is it? Either way, they're the same. So my conversations, and let's see if can I zoom this out? Sorry guys, I never use this on a browser, so usually I just pinch and it comes out, but that's not doing it for me today. No, that's like searching. View, zoom. There we are. Let's do like 75. No, let's do. All
Double
right, there we
tap.
go. So in the conversation, let's talk about the chain, right? So I'm having a conversation with an individual and I'm like, all right, oh, you like real estate? Somehow we bring that up. And and so they're like, okay, yeah. So I think last week we were like, okay, um, what's the movie? What's the movie that does this? Star Trek. So this side of the coin or this side of the hand, if you will, they like real estate. This side they don't like real estate. And so if they like real estate, then I hone in and I try to find out, okay. So they're so I'm like, oh, real estate. They're like, oh yeah, love real estate, or I've always wanted to do that, or whatever. And so I'm just like, okay, instantly knock the other two off because we're not going to even have those conversations. So next thing I want to find out is, okay, what do you like about real estate? And I'm asking those kind of questions. Like, okay, what is it? Like when, and I love asking questions like this. Like, when did you first get started? Like, when did you first remember being interested in getting into real estate? Like, tell me a story. Like, I'm looking for the story. And so then they start telling me stories. And all I'm trying to do is find out, okay, are they active or are they passive? Like, what do they want to do in real estate? And I got poker face, right? I remember doing this once when I had a property that I had committed, uh, much like this scenario, I had committed to do all this stuff and said, yeah, I'll bring money. And I didn't have it. And I didn't have people who had it either. And so I'm having conversations with people like, okay, do you like real estate or do you not like real estate? Oh, you do like real estate? Okay. What do you like about it? How long have you liked it? What got you interested? What do you want to do? And sometimes I'll just literally blurt out like, yeah, typically I find that people like real estate like want to be passive or want to be active. Passive meaning like they want to sit back, twiddle their thumbs and have deals presented to them. Active meaning like they want to go find the deals. Like they want to go negotiate. They want to go make offers, right? And they even notice like the difference in my voice inflections, if you will. Like they want it easy peasy or like they want to get their hands dirty. Like they want to take life by the horns, if you will. And so even psychologically, like that is gearing up somebody's brain to be like, okay, what do I want to do? Like, do I want to get in or do I want to have sit back and like have people call me and say, hey, I got deals. Do you want to put money to work? And very quickly, that person's going to tell you, like, that sounds amazing, actually. You got deals that I could sit back and twiddle my thumbs and you could present to me, or in general, right? Oh, sorry, poker face. Like I've literally had deals that I was supposed to fund within 24 hours, and I was having conversations like this with people, getting referrals, meeting new people, but I had my poker face on. I never, ever, 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 and if I forgot to say it ever, lead off with, I've got deals, you got money? Question mark. No, because people will be like, it doesn't even matter if they are like the prime prospect. You'll turn them off because they're just like, whoa, like, it's like dating. You're coming off really strong. Like you basically just met me and you're already asking me like how many kids I want to have. Like, no, don't do that kind of stuff. And so poker face, do they like real estate? Do they not like real estate? If they like real estate, you're just asking questions, asking for stories to find out, do they want to be passive or do they want to be active? And oftentimes I just ask it as bluntly as that. Do you want to have deals presented to you? You sit back, twiddle your thumbs, or like, do you want to get your hands dirty and get in there, negotiate, manage projects, hire contractors? Like, do you want to be actively involved in this and get going? And let me turn comments on. Forever, ever. Yes. So let's say we go down that rabbit hole. They're like, yeah, I like real estate. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Do you want to be passive? Do you want to be active? They're like, actually, I like the idea of being passive. Like, okay, cool. Like typically it takes like $50,000 or more to do a deal because real estate costs money. Sometimes it costs more money, sometimes it costs less. In fact, sorry, I should have said 25,000 because again, poker face. Yeah, I know I have a deal that I'm trying to fund and I need $25,000 or give or take. But notice how I just rolled that off my tongue. I was like, oh yeah, like typically, okay, cool. So we go down that flow chart. They want to be passive. I'm like, okay, cool. Typically, you got to have like $25,000 or more to get into a real estate deal because real estate costs money. And so is that something that you want to be like positioning yourself to do? Like you see how indirectly I just kind of asked them like, oh, you got $25,000 or more? And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, actually, and sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I got like 500,000 that I'd like to put into real estate. Oh, I got 100,000. Oh, like, oh no, actually, I've got a HELOC that has $100,000 available or whatever. And so sometimes that conversation gets there, but ultimately now I'm trying to find out like, okay, like, do you at least have the minimum that I'm looking for without disclosing that I have deals, just saying in general. Like the idea of deals in general, you need 25, like basically I could be saying the same thing. In general, like, deals need $25,000 or more. All right, you see what I did there? And then they'll tell me if they have it or not. So let's say we go down on that flow chart and everything lines up perfectly. And we go through a few people that, oh, you like real estate? No. Okay, so let's go down that. Like, is it because you currently have problems that you don't like real estate over? Or do you have past stories or someone else's stories about real estate? And again, I want to hear them. Tell me stories. And so let's say you have a few conversations on that side of the pendulum or whatever we want to call this, and you don't raise any money. Great. You just keep talking to more people, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you like real estate? Oh, you want to be passive? And you're talking to box number one people. That's when enters this conversation. And so Chad, I would have had that whole conversation with him before we even went to this. And I knew, and I'm trying to remember what it was, because let's see, this was back in 2019, looks like. And so at the end of the day, I would have asked him all those questions and he would have probably told me. In fact, I may even have a dollar amount in here. Right there, I see a 50 to, okay, yeah, $75,000, and I circled it. So I probably would have asked him questions like that, like, oh yeah, it usually takes a minimum of $50,000 to do a deal. Like, is that something that you could have deals presented to you? Their belief, yes, would someday like to buy a house, but no money. Let's see. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, because sometimes you have people like, oh, I like the idea of having deals presented to me. But then they're like, I like the idea of it. I don't have the money for it. And I have run into those. And so I'll typically say, okay, cool. Like, yeah, maybe start with active and earn money. Because most people, I'm trying to remember who I got this from. Um, Probably Michael, actually. Most people that have money to put into real estate, they made it actively doing something like business, like real estate actively, and then they store their money. So they make their money actively in business or real estate, they store their money in real estate. And so then if they're like, oh, I actually don't have the money, it's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe you need to start by making extra money, and then you can start storing it in real, and then you have a conversation about Renatus. Like, yeah, let's get you started in generating income out of thin air. Like the idea of that? Yeah, okay, cool. What you doing Thursday night you can't get out of. So anyway, so I would have had that conversation with Chad. All right, let's break this down. I have three parts, and you can write this down, and this works for any kind of raising money. Three parts to a deal, or three parts to a presentation, to a napkin presentation. And like I showed you earlier, like they're all the same. My conversation with this gentleman was the same as the other one that I showed you, that she did put money in, and we did a real estate deal together, or two, or I don't remember how many, a number of real estate deals. So first point, write this part down. Best thing since sliced bread. You want to tell whoever you're talking to, for whatever reason that you're doing it. And let's talk about lot loans, because that was the conversation today. Why is lending on raw land one of the best things since sliced bread? And fill in the blank. You can find something. I guarantee it, no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're doing fix and flips, whether you're doing raw land, whether you're doing short-term rentals, whether you're doing lending, whether you're doing contract for deeds, whether you're doing wholesaling, whether you're doing double close wholesaling and you're raising money to do your double closes. Why is that the best thing since sliced bread? And that is a subjective question, because it's based on an opinion. And so in your opinion, why is what you are doing the best thing since sliced bread? Because it meets your criteria, because it matches what you want. So for me, like, let's say I'm raising money to be a lender, or let's say I'm raising money to be a contract for deeds seller for in a seller finance. Like, oh, why is this the best thing since sliced bread? Oh, because the bank gets paid first before anybody else does. And so that's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, someone that's flipping a house could be like, oh, well, why is a fix and flip the best thing since sliced bread? Because my paycheck is the biggest, usually. In general, the paycheck, the fix and flipper gets the biggest paycheck out of everybody, if they're doing a good enough deal. And so that's why this is the best thing since sliced bread. We're after big paychecks. Or a wholesaler that's doing a double close wholesale, like, oh yeah, double close wholesale is the best thing since sliced bread, because the deal's already done before we even start. And if we wire money out, we get it back 24 hours later. And so it's a done deal. We make money just like that. So this is the best thing since sliced bread. All right, you see where I'm going with this? Like, whatever it is that you're doing, subjectively, your opinion, why is it the best thing since sliced bread? And psychologically, like, all of you now or I shouldn't say all of you now, but you can see where I'm going with this. Pick a thing and just say why it's the best thing since sliced bread. Be accurate, of course.
Oh,
Go ahead.
dang. I wanted to share something. So, one of the things I'm hearing you saying, but not saying, is that it's a lot easier to raise the money when you don't need it than to try to raise it when you need it, because the approach is different mentally.
Yes and no.
Okay. Elaborate.
Easier is a funny word to insert into there.
I think what I want to elaborate is that the mental approach, right? The psychological approach is that you're not coming off as needy. You are more open to qualify them for the money rather than you putting their money before your
Yes.
deal.
100% agree. However, some people may find that if they put themselves in the situation, and sorry, I can't remember whose name it was that whose deal is $25,000 for this lot loan. I can't remember who it was. Um, but
It's
for her,
me.
Jasmine, that's right. Thank you. So, so for Jasmine's deal, this actually might be the best thing for her where she put herself in a situation where now she is forcing herself to act, to have these conversations where if she was just doing it on her leisure, like most people are not like, yeah, I just want to go talk uncomfortable talks with people that I do know or I don't know or whoever, uncomfortable money talks, and so they don't do it. They never do. I was that person. Like I wouldn't just be having fun, especially back in probably, let's see, 2019. Back in 2019, when I had this conversation, like I probably wouldn't have just like called people up randomly for fun to be like, hey, you want to talk real estate, money and stuff and raise money? Like, no, I wouldn't have done that. But Jasmine has put herself in a very interesting situation where she said she's committed to somebody like, hey, yeah, let's do this. And now all of a sudden she's like, oh, I gotta go do the back end now and have this conversation. So she's forcing herself. So I'm not gonna call that wrong, one way or the other. It really just comes down to personal, I don't even want to say preference because again, like people don't choose to put themselves in sticky situations like this unless they are like committed, unless they're like, yeah, if they've obligated themselves to themselves or to someone else in one way or another, one fashion or another, then it gets them to act. And so either way, I've raised money when I had deals with deadlines. And you're right in the tune that you have to put that poker face on. Like you cannot come off and be like, "Hey, I got deals. Let's talk money." Because even if they're like again, most prime prospect, you'll turn them off because it's scary. Be like, "Oh, like we just, like the analogy of the dating, like, oh, we just met and you're already like talking about having kids, real estate kids." And so it's not wrong, but you just have to have poker face if you have deals with deadlines. Or let's say you are having conversations with these people first and you don't have any deals on the table yet. Uh, at the end of the day, you obligate yourself to, let's say somebody's like, yeah, I like this idea. Like this makes sense to me, which we're going to get to in a minute. But yeah, I like this. This makes it. And now all of a sudden you're like, cool. Like now I've obligated myself to that person. I got to go find a deal. Whatever type of motivation suits you best, do that thing. Go have hard conversations with people that you're going to commit to bring money to, or go have hard like basically in the two different things. Go have conversations with people with real estate problems and commit to solve their problems, and then go find the passive investors and the active people to do the deal, or go find people who have who are passive, who like real estate, want to be passive or active, and then go find the people, and commit to them, and then go find the people with problems that you need to solve. Like it doesn't matter which one comes first. That's all I'm getting at. But if you're going to commit to people with problems, let's say this third box, property with underlying problem, and then you're going to go raise the money, then I think what Steve is getting at, poker face. Like don't disclose that you have deals. You're just talking ideas, real estate ideas. The idea of real estate generally is a good idea. Would you agree? Anyway, love it. But yeah, I just want to get that out there because neither one's wrong. I've done it both ways. They both have their own stresses. And so again, anyway, we're not gonna beat that dead horse any further. So, best thing since sliced bread. Why is whatever it is that you're doing, lot loans. Oh yeah, lot loans are the best thing since sliced bread because we don't have any bricks and sticks to maintain. Like that for me, like that's if I was interested in that kind of stuff, like yeah, like it's just dirt. Like we literally make money on dirt. and there's nothing to maintain. There's nothing to go wrong, if you will. I mean, yeah, maybe a flood, but still, if they flood, then yeah, they just halfway built they halfway dug the trench that we're going to build for our house anyway. Whatever. You can come up with something as to why are lot loans the best thing since sliced bread? Because for many people, they are. If they're not for me, that doesn't mean they're not for everybody. For somebody, for some people, they are. And so, best thing since sliced bread. Fill it in whatever you're doing. You guys get that. Second thing, so first we did the why. Why is this the best thing since by so anybody ever seen Simon Sinek? Start I think it's called Start with Why. It's a YouTube what do they call it? TED Talk. Somebody search. I'm going to type this in. Simon Sinek. I think it's called Start with Why. Yes. Start with Why. Punch that into YouTube. Go watch that TED Talk. It's not very long. So why, what, how? So why are we doing this? Because this is the best thing since sliced bread. It's like printing money. Insert lot loans, wholesale, double close wholesale, contract for deed, seller finance, fix and flip, land development, whatever, land banking, any of the classes inside of Renatus, which are many. Fill in the blank. This is why this is the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there is a book about it too. If you want to go super deep, but the TED Talk is enough to get the point across of what I'm talking about here. So why best thing since sliced bread? What? And then I talk about here's what we're doing. So best thing since sliced bread is lot loans. What we're doing is, or sorry, I shouldn't say lot loan. Let's see, what's Jasmine's deal? It's a contract for deed lot. So she's going to buy it, turn around and sell it on seller financing. And so we could call this, I don't know, sandwich seller financing lots, something like that. Pick a name that sounds cool. Best thing since sliced bread style. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're going to buy it. We're going to turn around and sell it. Before we buy it, we already have a client lined up to buy it. And so our risk is virtually none. Like we don't buy it unless they bring their money too, kind of a thing. So, I mean, it's like a done deal before we even started, kind of a thing. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to buy this and then we're going to turn around and sell it the same day. And we already know our numbers. We already know our spread. And this is dirt. So we don't even know where we don't even have to worry about budget for fixing maintenance, nothing. So that's what we're doing. And here's how we're going to structure it. We're going to have an LLC, go on title, buy it. You're going to be on trust deed as a lender. And then I'm going to turn on contract for deed. And we got to start like a rap with this, make it rhyme or something. Anyway, so, but here's what we're like, basically the structure, like talk about, some of the high level legalese, if you will, right? So notice I mentioned trust deed and on title and seller finance and contract for deed. So that's what we're doing. And the nitty gritty, if you will, to a point, and talk about that. So if here's best thing since sliced bread. Basically, we're the bank. Banks get paid for, in this particular raising money. So best thing since sliced bread because raise the bank. But again, your best thing since sliced bread is going to be different, unless it's the same. But it may be different. Let's call it that. Okay. Here's what we're doing. Right, we're putting people on a trust deeds, and so they are in first position on a house. Right, so in Jasmine's scenario, she could say the same thing. So you are first position. You get paid before anybody else. Best thing since sliced bread. Here's how it works. Legalese, right? 30-foot view, 100-foot view, whatever. Okay, and here's what we're doing. Plan A. Here's what we're doing. Plan B or Plan 2. I say here. I noticed that I forgot to put A, B, and C, but whatever. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. And then inside of Plan C, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C for Plan C as well. And so basically, because people want to know, like, okay, you've done your, like, I mean, just talking about that kind of stuff, you sound like you've done your homework. Yeah, if it works, great, then great. If it doesn't work great, then here's the next great. and this works, and here's the numbers, and and it works all the time. If plan A doesn't work, water off a duck's back. Plan B, and very valid, very solid option for plan B. Plan C is like, we got to switch it up a little bit, but hey, here is a solid plan C. All right, so you notice I have plan A, plan B, plan C, and I could go into each one of these very, in depth, if you will, and have those conversations. And some people I do, and some people I don't. If they just take what I'm saying at face value, then great. But there you go. Here's what we're doing, including plan A, plan B. Okay, so we talk about why, we talk about what, and now let's talk about how. Here's how. I don't say it this way, but just for you guys to understand that. Here's how you give me your money. Like, here's how I'm going to help you picture giving me money to do the deal. I shouldn't say giving me money, but giving title money. Okay, so again, this would be relative to the nature of your deal, because I typically can say words like, "Oh yeah, you're not going to give me money. You're going to send money to title." In Jasmine's deal, she could do the same thing. They're not going to send money directly to Jasmine. They're going to send money to a title company, or if she's in a mortgage state, they're going to send it to an escrow attorney's office. Either way, but let's say you're raising money for short-term rentals, then yeah, they might have to put money in your bank account. So you can't say that. Neither here nor there, not right or wrong. Let's say you're raising money for fix and flip, and you need a big rehab budget, and you're raising money for a rehab budget, then yeah, you want control of that budget, so they're going to send money to your bank account. Now, there are ways that they can send it to title, and then title sends it to you. Sure. But effectively, this is when you are giving them, you're painting a picture in their mind of how money leaves their bank account and enters your deal, however it enters your deal. Title company, your bank account, whatever. Okay, and so I start with this. All right, Daine, and I want them to think I work really, really hard. I want them to think I'm like busting my butt day in and day out in the trenches, right? So I say that like, hey, I'm out working and working with clients. So yes, I have borrower written right here, but you could insert anything. Insert clients, insert contract for deed buyers, insert fix and flips, insert anything. Seller, if you're a fix and flipper, I'm looking for sellers. Insert anything there. So I'm out working, I'm finding, I'm analyzing, and I'm making offers. I stole that right. I shouldn't say stole that. I used that, rightfully so, right from Chris Albin. Some of you probably recognize this. Chris Albin says, I find, I analyze, I make offers. That is it. Nothing else. So I say that. Yeah, me and working to find clients like that. Finding, analyzing, making offers. A lot of them say no, but some say yes. So you guys can see my cursor, right? Yeah. So some people say yes, and then we begin our due diligence and we start finding out, okay, is this really a deal? Because we think it's a deal. That's why we made the offer. We think it's a deal, but I want to find out, is this really a deal? Does this last the test of time, the test of scrutiny, the test of critique, aka due diligence? And again, insert any kind of strategy, lot loans or lot contract for deeds, seller finance, leases, fix and flips, land development, insert anything, any kind of deal. We do our due diligence. We make sure, is this really a deal? Does this last the test of our scrutiny, if you will? And that's when I reach out to, and then call them whatever you want, capital partner, lending partner, partner, equity partner, private lender, whoever, whatever it is that insert whatever it is that you want. So like in Jasmine's scenario, that would probably be private lender. Like she's looking for a private lender. So she can say like, cool, I'm out there looking for clients that want to buy on seller, want to buy lots on seller financing, and I'm finding these kind of people all over the place. I'm talking to everybody all over on the streets. I'm talking to people on the phone. I'm busting it, analyzing the deals, making offers, And as soon as someone's like, yes, I start looking at it a little deeper. And once I have one that I'm like, hey, I think I like this one. Right? Notice my language there. That's like not like, oh, I have a deal. As soon as I find one that I think I like, that's when I bring in my private lenders. And so she can insert private lenders there. And that's not and notice that I put a range here. And typically people have anywhere from $85,000 to $300,000. Or Jasmine could say, yeah, typically I'm working with people that have anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000, whatever. Pick your minimum and just roll it off your tongue like it's like you do it every day. Um, so and no, and I probably had a deal that I needed at least $85,000 or something like that when I was talking to this person because I wrote that down here. And I gave them the range because I also want them to think bigger. Like, yeah, you do more, sure. Anyway, so go through that. I'm busting my butt doing due diligence, and as soon as I find one that I think I'm liking, I'll bring in my insert passive. Of the 4 boxes, insert passive people. And again, it looks like I've got capital partners written here. In fact, I don't say that anymore. Actually, I now say, I think I call them lending partners, if I remember, if I look at a more recent one. But whatever, fill in the blank. So when I find one that I think I'm liking, and the way that I bring in or the way that I loop them in is step 1. And again, write these ones down because this will be identical to your deal in nature. You just might swap one word out for another word depending on the nature of the deal. So step 1, when I bring in a partner or a passive, somebody from the passive box, is I present the deal. Step 2 is they tell me if they like it or not. Step 3 is, oh, I like that. Let's write that up. All right, you guys ever heard me say that real estate is a contact to contract sport? It is a conversation to a yes. Oh yeah, I like that. Makes sense. Cool, I'll write that up. And then money transfers. Look at this. Present the deal, conversation. I like it, still conversation. Number 3, it says attorney. So oh yeah, okay, cool. We'll have an attorney write that up. In mine, I have extra credit, let's call it, because like I said, my goal is to do thousands like this, help thousands of people in this, whatever, in this way. And so I have a form and a template that auto generates docs. But yeah, like on your first one, you're not going to say that. Just say attorney. Cool. We'll write that up. We'll have that written up. Step 3. And step 4, we'll review and sign it. So we're still contact to contract, present and contact, attorney and sign, contract, and then money transfer. So they wire to an escrow company because that's the nature of the deal that I was talking about. But like I said, short-term rental, let's say you need operating capital, whatever, then yeah, they're going directly to your business's bank account. Or if you're doing a fix and flip and you need rehab budget, then maybe you still say wire to escrow, but then they overfund. Let's say you're buying a house for $100,000 and you need $50,000 to fix it. Then you're borrowing $150,000. $150,000 gets wired into escrow and the house is only $100,000 purchase, then you're going to get $50,000 back minus some closing costs. But same idea. Then you're going to wire to the escrow company, right? So notice that in their mind, they're like, cool. So I look at the deal, I decide if I like it, we sign some stuff, and then I wire to somewhere. In Jasmine's deal, we can say title. Either, again, depending on if she's in a trust deed state or title office or a title attorney office. Wire the money. It's going to leave their bank account. Then I say, okay, cool. And what the escrow, here's how the escrow company, or here's how it works after that. The escrow company takes the documents that we wrote up, and oftentimes I'll draw a line down from 3 to 1. So they're going to take the documents that we write up. They're going to get everything notarized. and keep it above board, whatever, title insurance, whole 9 yards, and they're going to do their thing. And then they're going to take the wires that they have. They're going to take all the documents that are recorded, or sorry, all the documents that are notarized, and then they're going to record them on public record. And so you can go down to the county website, or yeah, you can go down to the county website, search this address, or even search your name or your company name or however you show up on this, and you'll see, bam, there I am, public record on this deal. Now, of course, if you're doing other kinds of things, like let's say short-term rentals, well, I guess you could still put a trust deed on a short-term rental if you own it. But there are scenarios where that person may not be on public record. If there is an opportunity to have them on there, I like to have them on there. It gives people warm fuzzies. Like I've noticed that people are like, oh yeah, like I am literally directly on public record, on title, on a trust deed, on a deed, on a notice of interest, something. They're like, cool, I like this. This makes sense to me. I like this. Yeah, I like the sound of this. Okay. So then I tell them, oh, here's how they're gonna handle this. And then last but not least, they want to know, okay, I want to picture myself getting money back. So all I've done is paint 3 pictures here. Them looking at the deal, liking it, wiring money into the title company. And now this last one, when the deal's done, I'm going to send to the escrow company a payoff that has your name and dollar amounts on it. And in this scenario, let's zoom in just a hair. So in this scenario, looks like I was running a scenario. Let's say there was 5 total. So me and 4 others, which is really uncommon. But let's say there's me and 4 others on a deal, then there's going to be a payoff for each and every person that's given directly to the title company, reviewed by you, and then the title company directly divvies the funds out. Doesn't come to me. I don't want to see your money, smell your money, touch your money, taste your money. Like never is your money within my control. Right? Jasmine can say this for the nature of her deal. And I say this all the time. Like literally, and I'd say it just like that. I want to get them to kind of smile, like, hey, I don't want to taste your, I don't want to see your money, taste your money, smell your money. Like I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Your money's going to go to title, and title's going to send it back to you with your profit. And I never touch it. Again, gives warm fuzzies. Now, if the nature of your deal is different, you're not going to say that. You'll say other things of like, oh yeah, and we have, let's say they're putting money in your bank account. Like, yeah, and we have checks and balances of every single transaction we do. There has to be 2 signers, and we have a running budget that updates automatically, so that way you can log in at any time, day or night, and you can see exactly how your money is being used in the budget, and that we're on budget, and that we haven't paid anybody before they finished work. Right? You see where I'm going with this? You're just going to say whatever it is, the nature of your deal. And if they're wiring money to your bank account, then you still make it sound like it's the best thing since sliced capital. Or sliced capital. Sorry, I'm reading Steve's comment. Sliced bread. Sliced capital is pretty good too. So here's how they get their money back. And they want to visualize that. And so I'll sometimes even say like, so when the title company calls you and says, I think this guy's name was Chad, and says, Chad, do you want to wire transfer, or do you want to come pick up a check, or do you want us to mail you a check? Like, you see what I did there, where they're just like, I think I want a check. I'm gonna go get, yeah, I want to get, like, no, I want to sit in my house and twiddle my thumbs and receive a wire transfer. Thank you. I don't want to leave the house. I just want to make money from my house. Whatever. And so I'll ask them like, cool. So the title company's going to call you and say, hey, how do you want your money and your profit and your interest? And, again, depending on the word you use depends on the nature of the deal. Your equity, your profit, your portion of the profit, your interest, your earnings. How do you want your money? How do you want your principal and then some back? Wire, pick up a check, mail a check. Or in some cases, I did one where I was rewarding myself with a awesome dirt bike. And I didn't want to pay for I didn't want to receive the money and then pay for it. So I told the title company, hey, will you write a $10,000, actually no, I can't remember what it was. Will you write a $7,652.68 check to the power sports dealer? And I'll come and pick it up. Insert whatever you want there, but they get their money back and they visualize it, right? And then I put this question mark here, and this is where everyone gets to decide. Everyone I ever work with gets to decide. Do you want to, one, compound that money? So let's say you put a $25,000 in and you get $30,000 out, whatever, pick a number. So you put 25,000 in, you get $30,000 out. Some people are like, dude, can I do that again? Like, let's ride this roller coaster like 3 times a year or something like that. And can I put $30,000 back and compound my money? Or some people like to, let's see, why do I say roll? Roll. That's uncommon for me to write that. I don't know why I wrote that, but typically number 2 is like, oh, I actually know I probably just roll exactly what. So if I put $100,000 in and I get $105,000 back, I know exactly what I'm using that $5,000 for. Let's only put 100,000 back. And I'll just invest the money and live off the interest, right? Buzzwords there that people, almost everyone has heard stuff like that. Invest the money, live on the interest. And I've got people like that. And I've got some funny stories of people that are like, yeah, I want to buy this like vibrating foot machine that you stand on and it like wiggles your whole body. And like, I know exactly what I'm gonna use my earnings for, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Coming right up, I'll find another deal for your $100,000. So option 2 or option 3 is anything else that you can think of. Do you want to do more money? Do you want to do less money? Do you want to do no deals at all? Like, do you already know, like, oh, I'm gonna, tell stuff. Like I had one guy that was like, hey, we're gonna remodel our basement, so I actually kind of need that money. And so instead of, thank you for the 100, I put 100,000 in, got 105,000 back, but can I put 50,000 back to work? And I'm gonna put 50,000 in my basement because my mother-in-law needs a house to live in, and so we're gonna, true stories, like stuff like that happens. And so number 3 is like really just wild card. If you can think it, we'll do it. If you can think it and it's legal, moral, and ethical, I usually will say that. If you can think it and it's legal, moral, and ethical, we can do it. And so really just comes to the power of what you can think, what you can think up. Oh, for some reason, this one turned into Renatus. I wonder if that's why this guy didn't end up being passive. I can't remember if he bought or not. Interesting. These don't usually turn up at the end of but it doesn't mean I won't talk about it. Anyway, so let's go. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. How do I back that up? Undo. There we go. So then from here, here's my close. And I say this word for word. I don't know why I put Jim right there. Why did I cross out Chad's name and put Jim? No idea. Who cares? So not common, but whatever. So then I say, cool. So really the only decision you need to make, Chad or Jim, maybe change his name halfway through. I don't know. The only decision you need to make at this point is Jim, is if you like this. Does this make sense to you? And if you do, all I need to know is how do you want to show up on title? I wonder if what happened on this one, and this would make sense, is because usually I put this information. Usually I put all this right here at the bottom. I wonder if we got to this point and like he could already tell like, this isn't for me. Like he probably didn't have the money is like what he said he did or whatever. And so then we started talking about Renatus because he knew that I was in Renatus. So the way I met Chad, I met him through marketing Renatus. I don't remember how, but somehow He talked about he came to meetings and all like, and then he called me years later, just like I actually tell you guys all the time, like, hey, you still doing that real estate deal, the real estate thing, Daine? Yes, I am. And he rekindled that conversation because he was interested in something. And anyway, so we started talking about, and it looks like we even talked about being a marketer. And so I wonder, I think he was interested in it. But like I said, he ended up being a tire kicker and he didn't end up going for it to my memory. And I probably just where was that? And I probably just threw this in the end or something like that because it's in green as well. So anyway, but we could pick any other one of these and you would see the same thing. Do you like it? If you do, usually there's a number. In fact, here, let's make this more accurate. How do I get rid of this search thing? There we go. I found that. There it is. That one. So same conversation, different day. Best thing since sliced bread. Here's what we're doing. Plan A. Oh, this one I did. Plan A, plan B, plan C, and then sub plan A, plan B, plan C for plan C. And then here's how it works, right? You guys see this? Like it's the same. Daine, borrow, find, analyze, offers, yes, due diligence, present, like, write up. So present it, like it, write up, sign, wire. Same stuff. Title company takes docs and our wires. And oh yeah, see, I drew the line there. Takes our docs and our wires, notarize, record on title, and I go back to the best thing since sliced bread. This, basically. There is the best thing since sliced bread portion. Escrow, payoffs for each of us. They divvy out the funds, right? It's the same thing. You guys see that? And then looks like I sped through the last part and I'm usually the reason I would skip the rest of this stuff, but like, yeah, so this way you can compound your money. You can just roll back exactly what you put in and use the interest for, use the earning for something else or anything else you can think of. More money, less money, you name it. No, like literally say, I'm gonna go do something else. And I thank you, Daine, for that. And I'm gonna do something else. Not that they didn't like it, but something else came up. Whatever. If you can think it and it's a little more unethical, we'll do it. So I'm guessing that I finished here because they were just like, yeah, I like the idea of compounding it. Cool. You don't even need to talk about anything else. Then, let's back up. Oh, did I even write it on this one? I don't see it. All right, let's pick another one. I don't think this one was raising money. Yeah. Oh, it was. All right, let's see. See this? Same thing. All right, here we go. So here's my official close. So, Lucas, the only thing you need to decide is if you like this and it makes sense to you. And if you like it and it makes sense to you, I just need to know what I can and can't commit to because I'm out there, like I said, I'm out there in the trenches. I'm busting my butt, finding, analyzing, making offers. And so I need to know what I can and can't commit to. So I just need to know a dollar amount, whether it's going to be, and it looks like on this one I said 50,000 or more with a plus sign. So you just let me know if you want to do the minimum or more, up to you. And then from there, I just need to know how you want to show up on all the legal docs. How do you want to show up on title? So personal information like email and a phone number and mailing address. Or if you want to be an LLC, then LLC name, mailing address, email, phone number. And then once we have all that, ball's in my court, I got to go find the deal. So even if I have a deal that I'm like, I need like 24 hours to fund this, I say it like that. All right, to Steve's point. If I'm in that like I got like 24 hours to fund this, I'm still like, cool. Lucas, all you need to do is decide if you like this or not. And so I know what I can and can't commit to, how much money you want to put to work. And even for starters, like it doesn't mean, challenge me or tell me, yeah, let's dip our, like you tell me. You're the boss here. You say jump, I'll say how high. I say that oftentimes. And then after that, I just need to know how you want to show up on all the docs that we're going to write up. If you're going to do it personally or if you're going to use an LLC, it's up to you. I've had people do it both ways. And then I'm going to go find a deal. And then I leave it at that and let them respond. Sometimes they're like, oh, I got $250,000. And they just like interrupt me and I fill in that. And now here's my favorite part. Yeah, I'll go full screen in just a minute. And here's my favorite part. So I say just like that. Cool, you like it? How much I can and can't commit to? How you want to show up on title? I'll go find a deal. Now, if you can decide, notice it says January 1st right here. Let's see when I did this. October 28th was when this conversation was. That's a long time. Why did I write January 1st? Usually I wouldn't do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I would tell them, cool. And if you can decide by this date, I actually am working on a few deals that look like they could be closing. So for example, the kid that I was raising the money and I had to close like the next day. I said it like this. His name was Luke. I said, all right, Luke, all I need to know from you is if you like this and it makes sense to you. And if you would like to do a minimum of $100,000 or more to do a deal, and then I just need to know how you want to show up on title, whether you want to go your personal name or you want to use an LLC, it's up to you. And once we get to that point, I'll just go find a deal. Now, if you can decide by like tomorrow, I actually have a few deals lined up that I could get you in. You know, some of them closing sooner than later, but I've got deals that I could get you in like this week even though it was like tomorrow. I got deals that I could get you into this week. And so just let me know, like no pressure, but just let me know. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. I've got $250,000. And I was just like, cool. I'll write it up. I'll present the deal tonight. And then we closed tomorrow's deal. Now, do I recommend that? I mean, if you need to put yourself in that kind of a position to basically hold a gunpoint that you got to raise money, then do that to yourself because it'll get you to act like it did me. But I don't choose that. I don't choose to be in that position, but I needed it. I needed to be in that position because like it's probably no secret that I grew up on a dairy farm and I was a painfully shy. My whole life I've been labeled painfully shy. So to get me to have conversations like this, impossible. I would have told you it's impossible for more than 2/3 of my life. That it would have been impossible for me to have a conversation like what I just told you. Not in my wildest dreams. But I forced myself to do it because I obligated myself to do things to people on either side of the equation. People that don't like real estate because stories and they need help, or people that do like real estate and they want deals presented to them. And so they need help finding deals. And I committed to both sides. And so love it. I see the Jordan Belfort. Yes, Jordan Belfort, Straight Line Persuasion. If you have not listened to that, you are robbing yourself of insane amounts of money. Literally robbing yourself. If you haven't listened to that, then you're robbing yourself. So go to DaineClark.com/straight line and listen to it. It's amazing. And yeah, Steve, you're right. Like I even use it on my children, Straight Line Persuasion. It's amazing. I don't have a story to tell. We don't have time to tell a story that literally just in the last 24 hours, in the last 12 hours, Straight Line Persuasion. And yeah, one of these days I'll have to tell the story. It's awesome.
Dean, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So I have been putting myself in circles to be raising more capital because that's what I've been a little bit lacking on. So this would have been really helpful last week.
Darn it.
It's okay, it's okay. You've done this before. This is why you need a class. But anyway, so I can see where I could improve my conversation quite a bit. But my question is, I have this guy, he's a little bit more advanced in real estate. Not, yes, he's a real estate investor, but not an educated one, if that makes sense. And he's a smart guy, but he's not an educated real estate investor. So I think I told him too much information. So my question is, do you do you ever tell people like the kind of deals do you how much into detail do you tell like people? Because I was talking to my attorney after talking to him, and I realized I didn't need to tell him it was a seller finance deal. I think that's what threw him off, or kind of put him down a rabbit hole a little bit because he's like checking all these things. For him, everything is the same exact thing I would do for any lender. It's just I'm doing an installment contract. Like I was talking to my attorney, and nothing on our end is really changing except for when he's investing the money. So how much detail do you go into about deals you're doing with people?
Depends on the deal. You're talking the seller finance style, like contract for deed.
Yeah.
Um, People that I'm raising the money from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that conversation is obviously a little bit different than this, but almost the same. Like it has the same parts. Best thing since sliced bread. The why, the what, and the how. Um,
I can ask this
I
question next
mean,
week
I
too.
mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't quite understand the question in full, but I mean, I tell them like, yeah, like I'm gonna buy it, and then let's say they're a credit partner. Like, is that what you're asking, or if they're just a private lender?
Just a private lender.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I just tell them like, hey, uh, I'm gonna buy it. I already have a time, a client lined up. Like I tell them all that stuff, and then I say, and all you're gonna do is reimburse me for the money that I was out of pocket. Although, sorry, let me ask another clarifying question. When you raise money from somebody, are you going to get an underlying mortgage and then you're raising capital on top of that? And so really you have underlying mortgage and a private individual, or would yours just be all private?
This one was just all private. Small
Okay, cool.
amount.
So yeah, so basically the exact like situation that you are seeing in front of you would work, because they would go directly on a trust deed or some kind of instrument. If they're in a mortgage state, then it'd be a mortgage. If they're on a trust deed state, it'd be a trust deed. But I mean, it's potato potato uh, kind of a thing. And so yeah, I could be like, yeah, like you're on public record. You're you're the uh, bank, and so you get paid first. You can say all those buzzwords that like, yeah, you are top of the totem pole. Nobody gets paid before you do, and you can foreclose. Like all those things that I say in raising private money, and they are in first position. And you can be like, yeah, and plan A is I actually already have a client lined up that's going to have huge skin in the game, and they're going to live there. And then you can say, technically, you are not allowed to lend to this person because that would be direct to um, that would be you directly to consumer. And I don't know if you're a loan officer, you're probably not. Okay, yeah, no, you're not. So you can't technically give them the money, but you can lend money to me, and then I serve that client that would be an owner occupied, which is my favorite, which is the best thing since sliced bread. Owner occupied is the best thing since sliced bread. And here's, you see where I'm going with that? Like anything I'm doing is the best thing since sliced bread. But yeah, owner occupied is the best thing since sliced. But you're not allowed to do that. You need someone like me to be in the middleman because I can sell or finance it to them under the laws of this country.
Motherfuckers.
What's that, Steve?
Oh, sorry.
So, so anyway, um,
Buff muted. I didn't even realize.
no, you're good.
I'm driving.
So
Yeah, that wasn't
something I
good.
said.
That wasn't good, Steve.
So um so yeah, like so I tell them like all the buzzwords that they need to hear, that they are top of the totem pole, get paid before anybody else, and uh and if my business fails, if my business idea fails, then they can foreclose and take the property from me and them and my client if they needed to, but historically have never had to do it because of Daine takes care of it clause. And that's what take means. So plan A, plan B, and plan C is Daine takes care of it because plan A and plan D didn't happen. And so I will take care of it. I will sell the house myself. I will sell or finance the house or bare bones, I'll turn it into a rental and you make your money. Business as usual, like almost as if nothing ever happened. You're just like, cool, I get my checks as if nothing ever happened. That's what I call the Daine takes care of it clause. Um, and so, no, why doesn't it let me zoom out? I can zoom in, but not out. Anyway, so, so yeah, I mean, I put it this way. I share with them enough of their aspect, right? Through their perspective. Um, yeah, I think you did. I share enough to those people that it is their perspective that they need to see. That back to this, they're going to get their money in and they're going to get their money out. And how that's going to happen. And how they're going to get their money out in plan A, how they're going to get their money out in plan B. And I don't like go into depth in this, but basically that I have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C that they get their money out at the end of the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just have to dial in on this and duplicate it.
And I don't and so if they get hung up on like, oh well, like, what did you say that they're getting hung up on? Like, oh, you're like seller financing? It's like, dude, who would you rather have in this house? Because ultimately, whoever lives in this house is the one who generates our paycheck. And so, would you want to have in this house a tenant that gives you $1,500 to move in? And if anything breaks, we fix it. And if they go on hard times and can't pay, then typically they won't go on beans and rice. Like they'll still keep their nice overpaid for smartphone. They'll keep their nice overpaid for vehicle or vehicle loan. Like they won't go on beans and rice just to save their living. Like they'll just stop paying us and wait for us to kick them out. Or would you rather have somebody that puts like a bunch of skin in the game? 10,000, 20,000, whatever. Or I think in your case, 5,000. I think if I'm thinking about the same deal that we talked about a week ago. Like, yeah, like they put thousands of dollars in. And if they don't make the payment, they lose all of that skin in the game. If the house needs repair, they fix it, not us. It's not on our dime. So we basically just get paychecks and we're top of the totem pole. Right? So there are phrases that you can say that help them with their perspective of the nature of that deal. That's like, this is why this is the best thing since sliced bread for you. Like you don't want tenants. You want homeowners. But I could also flip that to somebody who's trying to be a landlord and be like, no, you don't want homeowners. You want tenants. And I could talk about why that is the best thing since sliced bread. Like, oh yeah, you want tenants because they're going to live there. And it's like being a landlord isn't like the most wonderful thing on the planet. Sure. But they're going to live there and they're going to pay rent and they're going to, cover our expenses and plus some, a little, plus a little bit. But man, we're going to sell this house in 5 or 10 years and we are going to cash out like we won the lottery. That's why rentals are the best thing since sliced bread. Right? We can come up with anything as to why each and every strategy is the best thing since sliced bread based on, again, it's all subjective. But ultimately, I think that that's where that attorney might have got the wrong idea, is that he didn't see from his perspective, with blinders on, sure, of things that he doesn't necessarily need to know or want to know, that why that is the best thing since sliced bread for him to do the deal with you. Am I making myself clear there? Is that making sense?
Yep, that is very clear.
Yeah.
Cool. We're 10 o'clock, so sorry, we went way over today. But I mean, this is I've put $100 million to work doing this that I'm showing you right now. This is literally my secret sauce that has led me to put over $100 million to work. This is my napkin.
You can package this and sell it. This was really good. This was a great masterclass, honestly. It was awesome. Yep.
Love it. Thanks, Tamara. But yeah, Tamara, I hope that makes sense. But yeah. All right. I'm not gonna say questions because I'll talk real estate all day, every day. I gotta get busy. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Go have conversations. And whoever it was, I think it was Pat, whoever it was that led us down this rabbit hole last week and said, hey, let's do this. Thank you. Good stuff.
Thank you, Daine.
This was awesome,
Peace.
Daine. Thank you so much.
Everybody. Appreciate you all. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye
Thank
for
you,
now.
Michael. Thank you, everybody.